This is Robert Drysdale, my coach. He's been my coach for many, many years. Very happy to have him here. He's got world-class skills and world-class awards. And
good grips to me mean either collar and sleeve, sleeve and sleeve, collar and heel. Okay, if he gets the grip, look, he got the grip there, right? I'm gonna push this way, go back, hold it again. I can roll it out. You're controlling by moving, not by holding. Active control. The movement, the control will come from the movement. Don't let them grip the pants. Try to coordinate everything. So you're moving hips, legs, let them grip. Active movement, pummel with the leg. Breaking those grips, very active, guys, very nice. The more movement, the better. Breaking grips. Things you can do at the same time, the more efficient you'll be. Offensively and defensively. Moving your hips. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start here, and then I'm gonna transition from collar and sleeve to collar and heel. Alright, and then I'm gonna what we call a short de la riva. Space between this leg and his leg, try to eliminate it, okay? Try to stay tight. So as you move him around, you'll be able to tighten that leg. And actually start passing, right? So during that moment, I'm trying to create a push and pull pendulum. So if I pull with my arms and with my legs, what is his natural instinct to do? What? To move back, right? I kick him out. Notice that when I kick him out towards my side. Push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. So you're not gonna force them into position, you gotta trick them into position. Kinda is a toe hold, you bend the foot inwards, but because I'm wrapping it like a straight full lock, it's gonna count as a straight full lock, but the pressure's gonna be like this, so it's more like on the outside of the foot. And the way I do it, I attack the knuckles. I attack the very end of the foot. So what I'm doing here, so you see how his toes are pointed up? His knuckles, his toe knuckles, with my armpit. So his toes are disappearing underneath my armpit. The problem with this right here is that if you overdo it, what happens? You lose it on the other end. So you have to find that edge. And as you get the hang of it, you're gonna get this adjustment faster and faster. And I'm pinching this elbow to my body as I do it as well. Wrap the ankle, grab your own collar. You see how his toes are visible? Shoulder roll, slow. End of the foot. The important thing is making that the toes disappear. So back to our open guard. So I'm gonna have collar and pocket grip on the de la riva. I'm gonna pull, kick him out, pushing. Like I'm pulling those hands, like I'm trying to get his hands on the ground, right? I do that with my legs and with my arm. Notice that this foot is completely off the ground. So now I pummel with my left leg. Just the arm may not be enough to get that foot to my armpit, so I knee him in the back of the knee. You see that? At the same time I'm pulling, right? And I'm already measuring kind of where his foot's gonna go because this is too far away. Can't get the full lock here. If I need to adjust the full lock here a little bit more, now is the time to do it. And now as I arch, I'm gonna turn in. This is the one that's been made legal. This is illegal. As long as I keep the foot on the hip, and I can turn in. Whereas before this was illegal. So I can go all the way down here, belly down and sprawl. You can roll you one way or the other. So when I go belly down, I keep my knees open. So you have like a base, so you don't go right or left. Now, what I'm gonna do now is as he goes back to where we came from, I'm gonna have that foot lock set and I'm gonna sweep him to the other side. So instead of going in, I'm gonna go out on the full lock, but it's basically the same full lock, okay? So right about now, when I'm going for this full lock, this guy's coming back and he's managing because he wants to put that foot on the ground. That's what he wants. And I'm in a single X there now, which is not the end of the world, but I did miss my sweep. Agreed? Right, so I don't want that foot on the ground, go back. What he wants is that foot on the ground. So once I get to here, right, look at what I'm gonna do. When I feel him pushing back, I'm not gonna go after him, I'm gonna go with him, okay? I'm gonna replace my left foot with my right, and now I'm gonna pivot off that hip, and I'm gonna step on his calf. One mistake that people make here is they'll try to sweep their opponent square with their hips on the ground, right? Instead of being on the side, right? So if I'm on my right hip for the first move, right, by the time I'm transitioning to the single X and they're pushing that foot back on the ground, I have to switch from right hip to left hip very quickly. I don't want to be square with both my butt cheeks on the ground. I want to be on one side, from one side all the way to the other. And that's the one, okay? Sometimes you get hit by lightning. The other day, go up until about a year. So recent development in Jiu-Jitsu, I believe it was earlier this year, like first quarter of the year perhaps, changing the rules where now when you have that full lock on the single X, you can turn inwards. So if I have my opponent's right foot underneath my left armpit, I can turn right. And that's just been illegal because before that was associated with the reap, right? If I'm turning in, I'm applying pressure to the knee. That no longer is the case. As long as I don't reap the leg, in other words, cross that hip line with my foot, As long as my foot is on the hip line, I can turn inward. So if I had a foot here, I can turn this way as long as my left foot doesn't cross over. So I have to be stepping on the hip the whole time, right? It's easy to get confused because it's the same motion, but what they're looking at is whether the foot is crossing the hip line or not. As long as the foot doesn't cross, you're perfectly fine. All right, 1, 2, kick out, load up the foot lock. I'm going for my single X. As he comes up, I pivot to the other side. Look, as I kick him down, I go in. And switch, right foot to left foot and kick. Okay, the La Hiva hook's gonna be tight. I try like Velcro my leg and his. I'm trying to remove all space, okay? Have absolute connection. Pull, kick. Think about going in with the elbow. Yes. It's actually, that's how you're supposed to do it. It's actually tighter on him too. Because we have this idea, because when you wrap the foot, you think this. It's the same with the guillotine. People think this. And I teach the guillotine like I teach the foot lock. It's not this, it's this. And it's like, it doesn't put that stress on your forearm, and it's actually tighter, okay? But when I teach the straight foot lock and the guillotine, it's a very similar principle, right? People are under the impression I'm doing this, like a guillotine, right? And the foot lock, I'm finishing like this. And there's none of this going on. It's more of this right here, right? What I'm doing is I'm pinching my elbow to my body. So it's this effort right here, not this one. Here I'm just burning my arms out. It's actually weaker and easier to escape. And that's true for the guillotine and for the foot lock. Very good. What? Sweeping first, right? It always depends on what you want to do, which one you want to get done, which one is more important right now.
When he teaches, he doesn't have that one answer because everybody's different. Every situation is different, which is why I enjoy listening to him coach, because it's exactly how I feel, you know, about when I coach, because not everything's the same, right? When you said earlier, when you say, well, it depends, I get those questions all the time, and I say the same thing, it depends.
Yeah.
It's really important.
This time, I bring the leg in. Instead of bringing that foot to my armpit, I'm just gonna bring the leg, and I'm gonna kick the leg with the intention of sitting up. You see that? I'm pulling myself up with that left leg, and I'm gonna stiffen both my arms. I'm gonna stiffen both my arms. Now he's got no chance of getting on top of me. But I'm pulling myself on top of him. I'm either gonna end up in guard because he pulled guard during that transition, or he's gonna be on his knees, and I'm gonna end up in turtle position. There's a chance he stands up there too. We'll cover that next. There are variables, right? You have to take those into account.
So many.
If you get that cookie cutter answer, it might be like, oh, the white belts like it, but it's not a very honest one, you know, because you have to factor in like how tired you are.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's a big factor.
everything. Like everything goes into account, you know. So I think one quality that grapplers should have is learning how to think quickly.
Absolutely.
And that way, and I think that's what am I doing when I'm doing, I'm giving these variables as I'm trying to teach that.
Yeah, and that all takes time, right? It all takes time. It all takes time.
You have to make the right decision for that particular situation.
That's right.
Load, kick, look at my left leg. I kick and punch, and I'm pulling myself up into turtle position. Coming up there, basically, right, if I'm holding my opponent's pants here, I don't want to be pushing this way, because then it's just my fingers pinching the gi. It's a very weak grip, right? The hand opens here, so I don't have a lot of contact with the gi, and I'm just relying on my fingertips to hold. So when I'm coming up and I'm pushing with the knuckles on the inside of the shin. So I'm punching the inside of the knuckles, and I get my stiff arm behind that push. So I'm not relying on my fingertips, I am relying on my stiff arm. Knuckles on the inside of the shin, my arm stays completely straight. So I'm coming up this way, right? Collar down, leg up. What is he trying to do? Foot down, head up. He doesn't want to go head down, leg up. What does he want? Leg down, head up, right? So when I'm coming up this way and he's standing up, I'm standing up with him. What am I going to do with him? I'm going to help him. But I don't stop moving my feet as I help him. I make a circle. Basically what I'm doing is as he's coming up, I'm pushing the collar that way and the leg this way. And I'm walking around in a circle. In case he doesn't go down, he's got really good balance, and sometimes that happens, I still have a collar and leg. My opponent obviously doesn't want his legs up and his head down. So instinctively what I try to do when I stand up is to pull their head up and push the foot down. When I feel that happening, I'm going to switch directions as I circle into him. So when he's pulling his head back, I try to put his head on the other side, as I sweep the leg that way. So as I lift that leg off the ground and push his head down, I'm circling into them and hopefully putting them on their hip. Not gonna lie, if you get an opponent with really good balance and really good timing, they may not go down right away. I still have a collar and pant. I don't let go, I keep it. I can like foot sweep with this one. I can foot sweep with this one because I still have his collar and pant grip. So he's hopping on one leg really, right? So I need you guys to be good training partners for this one, okay? So we're gonna do 3 minutes instead of 2. Okay, 3 minutes top, 3 minutes bottom. If you get a sweep or a submission, we're just gonna go back to position. Yeah, 22, 23 years teaching, never gets old. I'm always learning. I mean that. But like, oh no, you just say no. I'm learning not just about jiu-jitsu. You learn about people. You learn about life. You learn about the world. You're learning, improving on yourself. You've seen your flaws that people have been pointing out to you your whole life, and you don't see them sometimes. And then like on the mats, eventually, like even if it takes 27 years, you look like, oh man, you know what? I'm wrong about that. You know, so this is a mirror to who you are. And if you pay attention at the lessons, like everything you know about yourself is in here. You just got to pay attention to the lessons. They're screaming at you. Sometimes you don't see them, but they're right in your face. I promise you. Okay?
Willie, coming up, please. Daniel, coming up, please.
Thank you. Congrats. Thank you.
Nah, just take it off. This guy's been training as long as I have, so well deserved.
Congrats, well earned. When did you start? What year? 2001? All right, guys. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.
We're gonna have a big us. We'll do our handshake and we'll take some photos.
Us.
Ready?
Us. Thank you.